speeches over my paper. I keep having to restart these videos, and I'm getting down to kind of a time crunch. So I'm going to read my speech of what my paper is over. My topic was how Native Indian culture is misappropriated by American popular music. I talked about how cultural misappropriation has grown in the Western world, and issues that tend to arise when someone incorrectly defines or demonstrates any form of Native Indian culture. This is an issue because it allows our notation of Native Americans to be corrupted into having all the same visions of who they are. In my paper, I discuss how American popular music has misappropriated Native Indians and how it affects America culturally. Since the 1800s, the Western world's infatuation has increased exponentially. Because of the World's Fair in 1851, American Indians were a display and started a worldwide epidemic of non-Native Americans reenacting Native culture by recreating the first Thanksgiving and wearing regalia or even getting Indian names. This also goes for people dressing up as Indians or for Halloween or for concerts. The term for these acts is usually playing Indian or singing Indian, which is the act of a non-Native American reenacting as a Native American cultural, usually in song. The fascination for Native American culture has created a stereotype of how American foresees Native Indians, putting them all into a single category. Playing Indian has not raised awareness or empathy for Native people and has only created an inauthentic Indianism. The world has not been taught about the different Native American nations and how they have different cultures, with there being 562 diverse nations. Playing Indian starts from childhood and stays throughout adulthood. Playing Indian is infused into children's education, games, music, arts, cartoons, holiday parties, and even mascots. Playing Indian often leads to singing red face, which occurs when a non-Native person propagates as a Native American in a song. Like I said, music has been one of the most culturally involved art forms since the early 1800s, and it is not hard to understand why people are offended to see white people perform racist stereotypes. Singing red face is not the only offensive performance in history. Blackface minstrelsy, I think is how you pronounce it, was one of the original forms of American entertainment and had a huge influence on American popular music as well. But later, white performers began painting their faces and body with black paint, sang songs about black people or being black, and called this blackface. Many people were infatuated with Native Indians, but that came with a side of animosity. The savage was a form of stereotypes that was used in Western films and music, creating racial antipathy within their audience. The savage Indian was unintelligent and a villain who shot arrows and were the bad guys in all scenarios, this being an example of racial antipathy. I also talk about Indian givers in this paper and how this is a huge stereotype within America. Annette Funicheo, I think is how you pronounce her last name, wrote a song called Indian Giver, and it's about a love story where the guy gives his heart and then takes it back. Annette received backlash from her audience from the song for including negative connotations in her lyrics, but she wasn't the only one. There are over 142 other songs that include the phrase Indian Giver from all genres. The song Paleface